Harbor is the greatest intelligence failure in American history.
Preset! Fire!
The Japanese are planning something bigger.
So what's the target?
We believe it's Midway.
You'll remember this moment for the rest of your life.
And welcome back to Extra Butter. It's our special dedicated to the movie Midway. Dear to my heart, because one of the first big movies my dad took me to was the Midway that was made in 1976. It was brought to you in this new thing called Cinch-Around, which essentially they removed the back row of seats and put in big bass woofers that rattled the theaters. Unfortunately, it caused theaters to start to collapse, so they yanked that out. This movie doesn't need any of that. This movie is great on its own. It's brought to you by Roland Emmerich. You're going, wait a minute, the guy who brought us Independence Day and Independence Day 2 is doing the movie Midway? Yeah, he's the perfect guy. I mean, think about the presidential speech in the first movie. We will not go quietly into the night. We will not go down without a fight. Now translate that into Roosevelt's, a date that will live in infamy. It's the same cadence and the same passion, and he brings it. We talked about it. Take a look. So the last time I saw you, we were on the set of Independence Day 2. Mm-hmm. It was part of an amazing scene. Probably one of the, I've been on the set of tentpole movies all over the world. This might be the best scene I've ever seen. And you cut it from the film. I could have been in a Roland Emmerich film.
I know also which you mean, but like we had to cut it for length reasons.
Was it me? Was it something I did?
No. It was like a overall thing.
Oh, okay. Congratulations on this film. I love that we're here talking about it today. If I were on the producer side and someone pitched, what would you think about Roland Emmerich doing Midway? I would have thought for a moment, we will not go quietly into the night. We will not go down without a fight. The same cadence goes into a date that will live in infamy.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Yeah, I think it's so. I also think it makes sense. And also, I mean, I kind of wanted to make this movie since 20 years. And I have to say, I'm really happy I did it now, because I think visual effects have come such a long way.
Sure.
And and I think 20 years ago it would have been not as good as it is now.
Of course. Like 20 years ago, they would have had to shoot everything practically. And there's some people who are purists that would say, oh, you should do everything practically. But I was just
How you want to do that in a movie like this?
I was just on the Pearl Harbor base, and they just said there is no way he could have accurately captured 1941 and 1942 without the use of CG.
Yes, and that's like important to know, And also, that was like kind of, for us, like, you would not believe how many times I sent shots back and said it's not looking real yet.
Right.
They couldn't believe it, and I was like pointing to this and I'm pointing to that, and sometimes we like said, okay, let's start anew. There's something wrong with this shot. We have to maybe do it like this, and so I mean, without visual effects, you couldn't make a movie like this.
With that said, there is some practical shot. You shot the Pearl Harbor sequences take place in Pearl Harbor.
Yeah.
What was your proudest moment practically, where you had all the bells and whistles going on?
Well, my proudest moment was like we were stuck. There was like they have a submarine in the area right next to the Missouri, and we shot inside a real submarine for a day, and it was the hottest and most cramped shoot I ever had in my life. Everybody was like saying, "You're just crazy. You should do this on the stage." I said, "No, we're doing this in the real thing. You will feel that."
People don't get it that some of the passageways are like 18 inches tops.
Yeah, exactly.
And we're not talking about running through there with a GoPro camera. You've got like, what do you shoot on? Red or?
A red, yeah.
So you've got red and a rig around it. So your guys are probably having to. How do you do this?
Handheld.
Right. Well, it's really brilliant, really remarkable, and among your crowning achievements.
Okay.
Thank you so much for your time. An honor to sit down with that guy, and a lot of people are saying, well, with Roland Emmerich, it's going to be all CG. Well, yeah, there is a lot of CG that goes into the making of this movie, not unlike Independence Day. But I'm here at Pearl Harbor. Historians have said CG is the only way to accurately represent what this was like in 1941 and 42, and they say he nailed it. So do I. And so does the cast. Speaking of which, coming up next, Dennis Quaid and the rest as our half-hour special on all things Midway continues. Hey, welcome back to Extra Butter and our special dedicated to all things Midway. It is the stars of the show. Gentlemen, good to see you.
Good to see you.
Nice work.
How are you?
Nice work.
Thank you.
You know, I was having deja vu as I came in to sit down. And I thought I should go through the catalog and find out what historical characters they've played in the past. And I thought, wait a minute,
We got one.
It was like yesterday. I sat down with these two guys in front of the Alamo, talking about the Alamo.
There we
Yeah, there you go. You're the first.
So here we go again.
You're the first to remember the Alamo.
Nice pull, sir. Nice pull. Google it, kids. Look it up. It's a historical reference. So where are we going to be next? What historical drama do you two want to team up with next time?
Maybe in a Space Force movie.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Like a real Star Wars when that happens.
Well, it has to be a true story, so we got
That's
to wait
right.
a while.
That could happen. So a lot of these questions will be the same that I asked last time around. How cool is it to play someone historical? And is it daunting because you know you have family members that you'll bump into that'll go, you nailed it.
I really enjoy it, to tell you the truth. Playing real people, and I love real stories. You know, they resonate with me and emotionally, and it's you know, to try to capture the spirit of someone and the responsibility of doing that, whether they're alive or not.
Sure.
Yeah, and this might sound kind of ridiculous, but when you don't serve in the military, and as actors, you feel like I carried a lot of this. I felt like I understood the importance of this man, of Leighton, and what he did, and because I didn't serve, my dad did, my grandfather did, both my grandfathers, uncles. I feel like me and my brothers missed out on that experience, and so the only way I can honor that and honor the military is by giving the most truthful performance of someone that did serve and served our country well. So there's a tremendous amount of just patriotism that comes with playing somebody that had such an impact on the war.
How lucky are we that we're here in 2019 in this time of relative peace, and let's give thanks to you know, the characters that we're portraying in this movie for enabling us to come here and you know, meet in such peaceful, beautiful circumstances.
Amen, brother. And for those who haven't seen the movie or done the research, each of you introduce your character in this movie.
I play James Murray, and I am Dick Best's rear gunner.
Ed, you're Dick.
Yeah, I play Dick Best. Yeah, I mean, there's so much to say about the man. I don't know.
Sure. And?
I play Lieutenant Clarence Earl Dickinson. Yeah, there's so much to say about that man,
Does
too.
it put you under a bit of duress knowing that you've got to nail this because he has family members that are going to be looking you up saying, you nailed it, you hope?
Yeah, I hope. You know, it's funny you mentioned that because I actually tried to find his family when I was filming this. And I got close, but it was someone else that had a grandfather with the same last name who was a dive bomber. But I don't know if they're around, to be honest. I mean, you got to remember, these guys are all most likely gone. You know, maybe his nieces, you know, maybe his nephews. I'm excited for them to see it, you know.
I have to think with the epic nature of this movie, a Roland Emmerich movie, and the day of social media we live in, they're going to find you, each of you, after this.
Yeah, I mean, I must say that it means a lot. You know, the responsibility for the characters meant a lot to us. It fills me with with some nerves that I don't feel with movie releases. You know,
I would
usually.
I would hope they find me.
I would really hope that they would find these accounts, our accounts, respectful, and that they would appreciate what we did. You know, we certainly tried our hardest, and it meant a lot to us to pay respect.
Absolutely. And your character represents someone who's mustering the strength and courage to just get through this from the moment we meet him.
Yeah, it's you know, he obviously is, a lot of these kids were kind of thrust into it, you know. I'm sure a lot of them didn't dream of being in the service, and I wanted to play a character who maybe had other ideas in mind of where he wanted to be or what he wanted to do. But at the end of the day, he has a responsibility as a young man to fight for his country. And it takes him almost the whole film to find why he wants to fight. And Dick Best helps him with that. But yeah, I wanted to, there was obviously a lot of fear during that time. And now watching the movie, just to think about what these young men were putting themselves into, it's extraordinary.
What is the one just joyful moment where you saw this movie as an audience member and you disappeared and you go, oh, that's awesome?
I have my moment because it's a war film and there are so many pieces. It's an ensemble piece. I mean, you know, there are so many pieces to the Battle of Midway itself, and as such, there are many different actors. We were just speaking about this before, before we started this. We were in such separate areas. Right now, we're in Honolulu. We shot in Montreal. You heard there were other actors in other scenes that were going to be part of this film. So getting to see them being cut right after or before your scene is like, whoa, I'm in a movie with Woody Harrelson. No way. So stuff like that to me was really exciting, where suddenly the screenplay becomes a cohesive reality, and that was exciting for me. I don't know about for you.
Yeah, I mean, when you watch a movie that you're in, you feel like you can strip away all the movie magic, but I feel like watching this, especially all the visual effects, getting up from my seat after the movie, like I realized how tense my body was the entire time, and how Roland does such a good job of making these dogfights look so real, and also you feel the claustrophobic nature of being in a plane that small.
Not to name names, but there are behind-the-scenes references to directors who make epic movies. And when you see the behind-the-scenes, they kind of look frantic, like, no, I want it bigger, I want this, and they seem out of control. But people say Roland is like the opposite, that it's a super chill set.
Well, I think a big-budget movie to him is just a Roland film. You know what I mean? I think that his scale, he's been working on that scale for so long. Before they had visual effects at the level that they are at today. So I almost feel like the job has become, I mean, I can't speak for Roland, but almost easier because of all of the work that can be done after it's shot. And Roland just still, with knowing that, you know, you can create any sort of universe with this blue screen, he still did a lot of things practically on set to make it look like we're on a boat. So it's in terms of like wind machines and these big effects of like exploding water, all these things that they wanted to have.
And to scale planes. I mean, they rebuilt 2 torpedo bombers to scale that were practical and in the real world of what we were shooting. It was very impressive. I was not surprised, but nonetheless totally just impressed by the level of craftsmanship of the people that he can kind of wield. You're right. I think most people's 10s is his 0. And it just kind of starts from there.
Roland told us this was his low-budget movie, so we can put that into perspective.
This is his indie movie. This is his little indie movie.
Film.
Yeah.
Neither of you are rookies, but at the same time, because this is a Roland Emmerich epic movie, you know that a lot of it's going to be added in post. So how satisfying is it to see the finished product and go, oh, so that's why we did that. Oh, that's that.
Absolutely. I make no mistake, I 100% am a rookie. I've never been a part of any project of this size. I think Keean has been in some kind of bigger, flashier things. I've never experienced this level of...
Not a lot of explosions or crashes on
yeah, exactly. Different kind of explosions. Musical explosions, etc. Exactly. But certainly not at the level of Roland Emmerich branded spectacle, and so that has been very much one of the most exciting things about being part of this project. Other than the story and everything, it was just cool to show up on set and see the production value of a huge, to scale or roughly to scale, aircraft carrier, and going, oh, okay, that's right, that Roland Emmerich is making this.
I look back on Independence Day, and one of the things that I think carried that movie is that Roland treated it respectfully, like he was making a war drama with that movie. Don't you think that leans into this? This is the right guy for the job?
Oh, Roland is absolutely. I mean, Independence Day, Day After Tomorrow.
Patriot.
These are huge, breathtaking movies like the kind that they used to make, like, the Sand Pebbles and Lawrence of Arabia.
Massive scope.
There's hardly anyone around who can actually pull that off, and he's the guy.
Nothing phases him either, right? I mean,
he does. He's he's in shirt sleeves out there, and he's just calm as can be. It's an easy day, and it's never miserable.
No.
And these movies can be so miserable to shoot in the minutia of them, and he just makes it. Because he has it so together. He has a plan.
Epic is an understatement. As we wrap it up, hey, thanks for watching on YouTube. Like and subscribe. And also, this is on AFN. That means the men and women serving America right now are watching in 168 different countries and territories worldwide.
That's right. Thank you for your service.
Thank you very, very, very much.
Thanks for bringing this to life.